Hello everybody. Today I thought it would be super fun to film a video showcasing the top 10 products I'd recommend to anyone who's starting their makeup collection from zero. This is just the bare essentials you need, nothing super fancy and nothing super schmancy, just the good stuff. Please note I'm not including stuff like brushes and everything along those lines, because then we'd be here for hours and no one's got time for that. So we're just gonna dive on into the products, and of course just keep in mind you could purchase whichever individual brushes or brush sets you feel make the most sense for you. In no particular order, we're going to dive into the top 10 products I would recommend. I have them scattered out in front of me on the side, so let's just dive on in and have some fun. The first thing you definitely need is either a foundation or a BB cream or a CC cream, tinted moisturizer, something in that general family that just evens out your skin tone, feels good, and makes you feel confident. This is just a personal preference of mine. I've been using this for, oh my gosh, probably at least 10 years or so. It is the Clinique Beyond Perfecting Foundation Concealer Combo, and I've loved this stuff so much over the years. I've gone through more bottles than I can even imagine, and it is a really good one if you ever want to give it a shot. The next thing you're going to want in your collection is some sort of a concealer. I really personally like this concealer palette from MAC. Here, let me open this. I have shown this on my channel so many times, but only because I really love this stuff. This is more or less the only concealer I use on a day-to-day basis. Of course, I'll try new stuff here and again, and I may find a new favorite in the future, but for the past few years or so, this has been my personal favorite. I love it because there's so many different shades, so I can easily, match it to however my skin is doing that day or that week. And then depending on your skin type and personal preferences, you're gonna want some sort of a powder. It can be, a loose powder, a regular compact powder, be translucent. It could be translucent, it could have a shade. It's totally your call, but having some sort of a powder to set your makeup is a nice option. Here is one from Bay Free that I've been using for the past, maybe a month or so. And I think it's a good one. I like it. There's also tons of other ones on the market that are awesome, so you can find whichever one best suits you and your skin and your needs. Oh, I completely forgot a product I was going to mention first, but we'll just throw it in now, so it's all good. I feel like this isn't like a must have. It's kind of like a would be nice to have, if you will, but some sort of a primer for your face I think is ideal. It just helps your makeup stay on a lot longer, which is, I feel like it's a pretty good thing. You don't want your makeup, sliding off, at lunchtime and you're just like, I have to redo it now. This is so annoying. So any sort of primer that fits your skin type is ideal. This is just the MAC Hydrating Strobe Cream. I really like this too. I've been using it probably since high school, and it is just a really good one. And then next, you're gonna want some sort of a bronzer slash blush slash highlight. I like having palettes in that situation, just because you could only really have to go in and purchase one product. You don't have to go to the store and purchase 3, 4, 5 things. It just makes it much easier. Here's one from Botanica. I've mentioned this a few times. I feel it's a little messy because I've used it a ton, but it just has everything you need for a really cohesive look. And if you want to, you could use them as shadows as well. And then we're just gonna want a super basic eyeshadow palette that you could use more or less day and night. Here's one from Sephora that I personally really like. It has tons of great options that work for multiple occasions. So again, instead of going through a ton of different palettes or single shadows, you have everything here in one shot. Alrighty, and then I feel like we could probably measure these together because they kind of complement one another. So we have got a basic liner and a basic mascara. I feel like depending on personal preference and just feelings, you could go with a black or a brown. This is from MAC. This is from Botanica. They're just some solid, good staples, and you can never have enough liners and mascaras in your life. But if you're first starting out, just one of each is definitely enough. And then for the last category, I thought it would be nice to include 2, just so we have some variety. So I've got 2 glosses here from Sephora. They're from the same, if I'm not mistaken, I think I got them in a set, but I could be remembering wrong. This is just kind of like a deeper pink, and this is like a clear sparkly pink. just so you have some options and you don't wear the same lip day after day. I'm actually layering these two right now so you get an idea of what they look like on the lips. And that is my overview / summary of the top 10 products I think you definitely need in your collection if you're just starting out. I hope this helps. Let me know in the comments. And if you have any specific personal requests or ideas for future videos, do let me know. Every recommendation really helps. And until next time, I'll see you in the next one.